Hello everyone! Welcome to the second part of 2-week intensives where we're gonna focus on right hand technique. My name is Emma and I'm a classical guitarist and a coach here at Tonebase. And this week I would like to cover with you two essentials of right hand technique. The first one would be finger independence. So oftentimes when I ask my students what technical exercises they practice, they say, oh, for right hand I do scales and I do arpeggios and I do different fingerings and scales, and then for left hand I do shifts, I do finger independence, I do hammer-ons, pull-offs, stretches, and so on. So a whole lot more for the left hand than for the right hand, that is actually the one that produces the sound when we play. That's why I would like to show you a very simple, straight to the point exercise for finger independence in the right hand that you can incorporate in your daily practice. I practice it daily. I start with that exercise, and it's been a favorite amongst my students. The next thing that I would like to cover with you is preparations for the right hand. So what are preparations? It means planting the fingers on the string before we actually play. Now, why is that so important? Well, when done properly and once you get used to it, if you haven't done it before, it's gonna be so helpful in so many ways. It's gonna minimize room for mistakes. You're gonna have better control of the strings, of your sound, of the speed that you're playing. Also, if you're playing super fast, it's gonna be much more rhythmical when you're incorporating those preparations. And it doesn't necessarily have to be done only in arpeggios. You can use preparations then for anything else, basically, any piece that you're playing. If you have a difficult passage coming up, first you plant the first finger that's gonna play the passage, and then you play it actually. So you're not playing from the air, as I like to say. Now, if you're someone that never has done any preparation and doesn't have an idea what I'm talking about, I'm gonna start you off super simple. So the first thing that we're going to do is you're going to put the thumb on the 4th string and I and M on the 2nd and 1st string. And now you're just gonna press the string downwards, we're not playing it, and release. And again, press and release. And you're gonna see if you have any trouble coming back to the same 2 strings, if you end up on the 2nd and 3rd or somewhere in between. So you should really be going back the same string. And while I'm playing this, I'm keeping my hand relaxed. And my position is like so that my fingers are glued to one another, but I'm not pressing. It's not tense. They're relaxed, but they're right next to each other. There's no gaps in between. Now that that works well, we're going to transfer to M and A and do the same thing. So you're not playing it, you're just pressing and releasing. Doing it, of course, very slowly, and taking care that you're precise when you come back to the string. So this is the first step, because you actually, when we're playing with preparation, we first need to plant the fingers on the string and then play. So that's where we're doing this. Next step is to do it with all 3 fingers, I, M, and A, on 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string. So you're pressing, releasing. And you're not staying on the string. That was important to say in the beginning. You're not staying on the string, you're releasing it and going a bit up. Because if you're staying on the string, the exercise then doesn't make sense for what we're trying to do. You're releasing and pressing again. Now we're going to do the same with all 4 fingers, so the thumb is coming into play. Release, press, release, press, release. Okay, now that you have a feel for the string, let's do that again. Press, release, and now go to 5th, 4th, 2nd, and 3rd string with the finger. So we're changing positions in the right hand. And alternate between those two. The next step would be to do it also with the thumb on the 6th string and A on the 3rd. So we start at 1st string, we go to 2nd, 3rd, go back. And we're just pressing. You're not playing anything yet. Now, when we're actually doing this while playing an arpeggio, it's not going to be that you, well, in most cases, it's not going to be like that, that you plant the fingers and then play arpeggio, because you would always be off. You would not be in tempo when you're doing that. So what we're doing then is planting and the thumb is playing at the same time. At the exact same moment, when you plant, the thumb plucks the bass string, or whatever string, whatever is the case. Now practice that, just with the 4th string, and then we're going to do the same. Same thing as before. Now 4th, now 5th. And you're moving all of the strings, all of the fingers together with the thumb. Now on the 1st, see, I wasn't precise there, but also I'm not in position. Now let's go to the 6th. Okay, now that we've covered that, and you should do it in your own pace, you know, pause the video, do it a few times if you're having some trouble with it. Now when it all goes well, after a couple of tries, now we're gonna play with all of the fingers. So, you plant, you play P, I, N, A, plant again. Let's do it as an exercise that there's a break in between. So, a break in which all of the fingers go back to the strings. Now, do it without that break. And at the exact same moment in which the fingers go to the strings, the thumb plucks the 4th. Now we're going to take it a step further and change positions in the right hand. As I said, do it in your own pace, at your own tempo. Let's add the next position. Important thing to say that the preparations happen only when you're playing upwards, so from the lower strings to the higher ones, and not when you're going the other way. When you're going the other way, it just doesn't make sense to do it, and you can try it with in a faster tempo, it does not help. This, in a fast tempo, is going to help a lot, and in the other way, you just do it from the air, without any planting or any preparation. Now that we've covered preparation for our preparation exercises, we're gonna head on to part 2, where I'm gonna show you the very easy exercise for finger independence, and where we're also going to work on some of the Giuliani arpeggios. As most of you know, the arpeggios of Giuliani, there's 120 of them, so obviously we're not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to go through with you through some of the most basic ones with the most basic movements that you can do. And if you're interested, you can incorporate it in other exercises that you see right there. See you in part 2.